Okay, how you doing? Duff here. And you just saw me on Sunday evening, and right now it is Tuesday evening. Normally you're not going to see me too quickly like this, but there's been an interesting development since I last talked to you during the live stream on Sunday night. One of the topics of the live stream was guessing about the specs and information regarding the Inmotion V12. Mickey, who has been working with Inmotion, was on the stream, and he gave us, a little bit of information, but he was vague, as you would expect, because nothing official has been announced yet. But lo and behold, the day after that, we have specs that were leaked. All kinds of information was leaked. Evidently, this stuff was cultivated from the FCC site. I don't know a lot about the process, but it seems like when electronic manufacturers get something ready for market, they need to do a filing to the FCC. And somebody grabbed all kinds of information from the FCC, including the manual, some pictures of the testing that was done, all kinds of stuff. And it's weird to me because, as far as I know, this has never happened before, even though I believe all manufacturers need to submit information to the FCC when they're selling a new product. This is the first time I'm aware of that we have gotten unintentional release of information. Let's get right down to it. I have on my screen the manual first. I have several PDF documents. Let's go through the manual first. And the first thing you notice on page 1 of the manual is a picture of the V12, or what you assume it's going to look like. Now, I initially did not see the manual. I saw just pictures of the V12 without any of the lights on, and to be quite honest, my initial reaction visually was like, it didn't stoke my fire. It didn't excite me. With the lights, it looks better, but it is definitely odd. The 4 headlight design, that's something that we've never seen before. It's supposed to have some technological advances and practicality advances with the lighting, but it was just kind of odd looking, which isn't the worst thing. When I remember when the veteran Sherman came out, I thought the exact same thing. I'm like, what? Look at this thing. It looks ridiculous. The Sherman looks ridiculous, and I love the wheel. So, looks aren't everything when it comes to electric unicycles. I have come to learn that. So, all right, table of contents, who cares? In the introduction in the manual, one of the things it talks about is this is a 16-inch form factor, which is what has been rumored all along. Definitely seems like a competitor for the Gotway Nikola, which is a 16-inch wheel. But it's odd. It was actually pitched when the Nikola was first pitched. It was actually pitched as a 19-inch wheel, just because of the size of the tire and everything. It was described as a 19-inch wheel in reality. The V12 is going to be a similar situation, but it doesn't look as big and bulky as a Nikola. So a 16-inch wheel, powerful motor, a BMS, a touch screen. We'll talk about that. Has a touch screen, building upon the veteran Sherman in a much more advanced way. Automatic headlight. This has a speaker, the V11. One of the things that some people complained about with the V11, it didn't have speakers, it didn't have exterior lighting other than the headlight and taillight. This has lighting in the front, which is sort of like what you'd see in the Gotway RS and the Monster Pro. It also has lighting on the side, something that was missing from the V11, so people that like that kind of stuff will be happy that that's being added to the V12. Okay, oops. So let's go down to page 5. So let's talk about the features. This is a little blurry. It's blurry for me, so I know you probably can't read it at all. Handle design, they're sticking with the conventional. Well, I shouldn't say that. Not all of the. Well, yeah, I think they do actually. Almost every Inmotion wheel I can think of does have this flip-up style handle. The V12 has a flip-up handle as well. The biggest negative you hear about this configuration is in a crash, it can become vulnerable. It can fly loose and break off easily. But in reality, it is a effective design. I've always liked the Inmotion handle design. Easy to use. I actually have a spare Inmotion handle that at one point we had strapped onto my old Gotway M Super as a handle, because the handle in that was so bad. I actually strapped that on there when Cindy was riding more, and she used that when we went on our road trip up north, and that handle worked out well. So I'm fine with the handle. The headlight, there was already lots of Good thing said about the V11 headlight. It looks like this takes it to a totally different level as far as the capability of this headlight. It has the lift disengage switch for the motor. That's pretty much standard fare on most upper end electric unicycles nowadays. Voice prompts, yeah, okay. Well, most wheels have that. Charging ports. This has a USB-A port. It has a single charging port, which is kind of odd that it didn't go to dual port. And it also gets away from that that USB style looking charging port. This is a more conventional 3-prong port. And it also has a Type-C USB port. That's, as far as I know, this is the first wheel that has a Type-C USB port, so that's noteworthy. This has stealing from the V11. This also has a kickstand, which I think is a good feature. I like that in the V11. I'm glad they're including that with the V12. So like I said, the touchscreen is cool. Now you can't see in this PDF because it's black and white. This is a color touchscreen. And from what I saw, the screens are very, very similar to, and the information is very similar to what you can do in the Inmotion app. Marty told me that it's supposed to have similar features to the Inmotion watch, which I don't know how popular that's been, but this screen is supposed to have similar features. And unlike the Veteran Sherman screen, it's capacitive, meaning it's a touch screen. You can maneuver it by touching the screen. So that's cool. Definitely has more features than the Sherman screen. Definitely is more attractive that it's color. And it will. And one of the things that people like about the Sherman is the ability to quickly see, battery quickly and clearly see battery and speed just by looking down. The V12 will offer that, so that's great. I'm all about that. Like I mentioned, they did reintroduce Bluetooth speakers. This has 4 sets of high quality speakers, which is nice. That's a nice thing to offer with the wheel. Now that was something that they had talked about. That was something that they talked about with the V11, that they were going to eventually add additional lighting and speakers options to the V11, and that was vaporware. That has never come to be. I don't know if that's still going to be down the road, but that has never happened, so I'm not sure really what happened there. I also mentioned, in addition to the lights in the front, it does have side lighting in a circular configuration, which at least from the pictures I saw with the lights on, look good. Here's the dimensions for you. I really should have done some homework and compared these dimensions to the Nikola, but I did not. So maybe in the future I'll have some additional thoughts about the size of the wheel. This is the specification page. This was interesting. The weight of the wheel, 29 kilograms, not a light wheel. Pretty substantial wheel. Top speed, this was an eye-opener, 70 kilometers an hour. So they're saying that this can go 43-ish as a top speed, which is way above anything that Inmotion has offered before. The V11 has a 35-mile-an-hour top speed only for the first 20% of the battery pack. So this sets a much higher bar for top speed. I'm not sure how deep into the pack you can reliably get that speed, but that was an eye-opener. This I thought was interesting. It has a separate IP rating for the body and the battery. I heard this battery described as being a waterproof battery, which is that's a first. The battery has a better waterproofing rating than the wheel itself. So that's cool. With all the battery issues that we've been seeing, primarily with Bugatti wheels, it's cool that this battery is waterproof, or at least in theory is waterproof. This was weird. It shows in the manual the voltage of the wheel is 88.8 volts. Evidently that's not correct. It's a 100-volt wheel. I'm not sure if this is just a typo or if they just went to the screen here. You can see here the speedometer showing 52.5 kilometers an hour and a battery voltage of 88.8 volts. Maybe once you're 80% into the pack, that'd be a realistic voltage on the wheel. Maybe that's why they threw 88.8 in here, but that is not accurate. It's a 100-volt wheel, so that's good. The first 100-volt wheel made by anybody other than Gotway or Veteran, so that's awesome. The battery, 1750 watt hours. respectable, respectable. Like the Nikola 100 volt is, I think the pack is 1800, or the standard pack is 1800 watt hours. So the battery capacity is similar. I'm not sure what the cutoff voltage is on the V12, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of range we get out of that. With the V11, one of the things I was not that happy about was the range I get out of that pack. It's that they sell it at, or they advertise it as a 1500 watt hour pack. It's actually closer to 1400 watt hours, but still, in my testing, the S18 with an 1100 watt hour pack was getting very, very close numbers, and in some situations, riding situations, actually better range numbers than I got with the V11. So hopefully the higher watt hour combined with maybe better firmware will equate to some better mileage numbers, range numbers. Power. The motor is rated at 2,500 watt hours, or 2,500 watts. Strong motor, very strong motor. That's great. The V11 is rated at 2,200 watts, I believe. So, increase in power in a smaller wheel form factor. The V11 is an 18-inch wheel. The V12 is a 16-inch wheel. So more power with a smaller diameter motor should equal more torque, which is like one of the things that I like about the KingSong 16X. Max power draw of 5,000 watts. And the charger, some people poo-poo the charger. It's only a 2.3 amp charger. Not the fastest, but you always would have the option to put a fast charger on it, I guess. And I think really the rest of the manual, this is just normal crap. There's nothing in here that I saw that was significant. Okay, so there's the manual. So let's see, what's this one? Okay, so this is some of the photos. Now see, when I saw these photos with the wheel turned off and these angles, they were not flattering, but I mean, they're not meant to be. This is for FCC submittals. So it just, it looked odd to me. You know, it just is. It was an odd configuration. It's very angular in certain spots. The same picture. Okay, from the side, you can see how you have an angle in the front, an angle in the back. Hopefully, this is very strong material. If this is very strong material here, it could have some decent crash resistance. If it's not, it might not have good crash resistance. So that'll be interesting to find out. This grillish design in the front, again, kind of weird. From the back. Again, you see the mudguard. It looks kind of plain here. You can't. I guess this is the lights in here. This area in here, I guess, is the lights. Definitely looks better lit up for sure. The charging ports configuration. So it's a 5-port plug. That's you see that with a lot of 100-volt wheels. The one thing that I hope is it's a top-mounted charger. Is this flap that goes over it? Because I've noticed with the S18, which has a top-mounted flap, and I know people have complained about it with the RS and the newer Gotway wheels, is they have like this bathtub, basically, a bathtub on the top of the wheel, but the charging ports are underneath, and the drain are your charging ports. So if for some reason that rubber is not attached tightly or breaks off, or you lose it, and you have moisture get in there, have fun as it drains out your charging ports. That would not be a good time. So hopefully the cover setup that they have in the V12 is substantial and does its job. Okay, so that's the end of that one. Okay, this was interesting. This is a disassembly, a series of disassembly videos, or not videos, pictures, where it shows how the wheel comes apart. One thing I didn't mention that I'm actually quite happy about, as you heard me talking so much about the bearings on the hollow motor wheels, the V11 and the new Gotway wheels, is it appears, and I believe Mickey has confirmed this, that the motor in the V12 is not a hollow motor configuration. It's a more conventional configuration, and that would be fantastic news for me, because I don't want to deal with it. I don't. As long as the pedal hangers do not have the issues that old style Gotway hangers do with shims and things like that, I'm fine with a regular motor configuration. It's more water tolerant. That's great. The other thing that I'm hoping that this configuration brings with it is easy access to the tire for tire changes, or if you have to do the tube. The 16X, the KingSong 16X, is so easy to pull the motor out of. And when we went to the suspension wheels, the S18 and the V11, it's the exact opposite. It's been those wheels are a pain in the ass to get access to the motor and the tire to do things that a lot of riders have to do routinely. So I'm hoping this is a more simplistic disassembly process. I think that would be great. Okay, again, right there, it looks like you have the system board off there, the front lights. I'm not sure what that module is there. I'm not sure what that piece is either, but we have measurements. Oh, this looks like this is the charging. Okay, this might be the charging board where the wires for the charging port go. That's what it looks like. Yeah, okay. Guess it's important to document the size of that for some reason. System board. Now, there was one thing I saw with the system board which I'd like to have an answer for. Let's see here. The MOSFETs. I'm curious if they are still going with the smaller MOSFETs that the V11 has. That was one knock on the V11, is it used older, smaller, less beefier MOSFETs. It didn't use the newer style, and I wish I would have had the numbers in front of me because I don't remember the model numbers for the different MOSFETs. But KingSong wheels and the Gotway wheels all use the beefier, more current tolerant MOSFETs. The V11 does not. I don't know what these are, if these are the same thing, but just eyeballing it, they do not look that big. So I'm sure somebody will have details on that at some point. It looks like this wheel is similar to the V11. It has a multi-layer system board, so I'm not sure which part of the logic board that is. The Bluetooth antenna. Okay, there's that's the Bluetooth module, and I guess, okay, that's the antenna. I never saw the antenna broken out as its own piece before. And that's funny. That almost looks like a hard drive. Oh, that's the screen. Okay, that's the back of the screen right there. Okay, so that's what the screen looks like. And not sure what that part is either. Okay, so I got one more document here to go through. Now this is photos of the conducted emission measurement. This didn't really do a lot for me. This was just I'm not sure what they're testing here. Emission measurement. Maybe they're checking RF, radio frequency emission. I don't know. Oh, radiation emission. Okay, so they stick the wheel in the middle of the room and they measure the radiation that comes off of it. Again, the side profile of the wheel, it's just like whatever. Doesn't make me crazy. But like I said, it's kind of okay. I've been in various online discussions with people about what I've seen in the V12, and like I said earlier, when I first saw the Veteran Sherman, I thought that was a really unattractive wheel, really unattractive. When I first saw the V11, I remember having a sort of a polarized, like, do I like this or do I not like this feeling about it. And with the V12, I have similar feelings. But what I've come to realize is, yes, it's nice when the wheel looks good. One of the things about the Z10 was visually, it was so impactful. Everyone's like, oh man, look how cool that is. That's like something no one has ever seen before. But as I've become more and more experienced with riding, what I've come to realize is it's how you feel when you're riding the wheel, because that is your experience. Your experience is what it feels like when you're on the pedals. So if this wheel feels great when you're in the pedals, that's what matters, really. And it has a bunch of other cool features. And the thing is I've talked to Mickey about this because Mickey has had a V12 in his possession since around Christmas, according to him. And what he said was that the information that was released, that doesn't even include what he feels are some of the most impressive and cool features of the V12 yet. Like that stuff is not public. So I mean, the specs of this are cool, man. I like to have the option for a wheel that can compete with a Nikola, from a company that has a higher standard when it comes to quality control. I thought that was that it's great to have that option finally. If you wanted a 16-inch wheel that could go, in the high 30s reliably, you had one option, a Nikola. So now we are potentially faced with another option. I've said today repeatedly, like this is a solid and a good upgrade for my 16X. My 16X has been a great wheel, but caps out at 31 miles an hour, has a smaller battery, so and it doesn't have the feature set that a V12 does. So I think that's a pretty natural progression. Now, of course, the big question here is, what's it going to cost? Because that also comes into play, at least in my mind it does. You know, no matter what features it has, it's still a 16-inch wheel. So to me, that there's a cap on what is realistic, what a lot of people are willing to pay for that kind of technology. The standard price for a higher end 18-inch wheel is around $2,000. You know, both the S18 and the V11 are around $2,000, and those wheels have suspension. This has better specs from the battery and the motor, and it has a touchscreen, and it has, you know, a bunch of other cool things. So I expect it to be more, but it's just a question of how much more. You know, like what the final price will be. I think that is going to be something that a lot of people are interested in. It seems like the break point is less than 2,500 would be a lot more appealing than more than 2,500. So we shall see. I know when the V11 was announced, originally the price was going to be $2,200 when Inmotion did the promotion. And after some discussions with, I know Jason, I don't know who else they talked with, but after they talked to Jason, the price was shifted down to around $2,000. So we'll see what happens with the final price here. We shall see. So yeah, that's my last document I have. So those are my thoughts. You know, it went pretty long, but I think I expressed my feelings about it. And there's been a lot of people that their knee-jerk reaction was, "Oh, that's ugly. You know, I'm out." And no, I think the wheel is going to be exciting. And if what Mickey says is true, that there's a lot of stuff under the cover we don't even know about yet, that's going to make it even better. So we shall see. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, a little bit of an unusual format for me. But yeah, if you did, give this video a big thumbs up. Hey, if you want to be a member of Duff's YouTube channel, I have 2 members already. Yeah. Yep, and they're No Skill Zombie Rider members too. So yeah, if you want to join the club, feel free, and you will get recognized in every video I do from here on out. I'm going to be recognizing my members. And feel free to let me know what you think about the V12 in the comment section below. Yay, no, yay, nay, you're going to buy it, you're not going to buy it, you're going to pass. We shall see. It definitely will be the subject of conversation for several weeks to come, I think. So that's all I have for now. Hope you guys have a great Tuesday evening. And until next time, Duckman out.